What's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. It's Rage, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. That's Kingdom One. Yeah, so we got some breaking news. Again, hit that like button, support. We got some breaking news today that the Brooklyn Nets are interested in trading into the draft. Hoopshype reported about the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies have been interested in Day'Ron Sharpe. Um, Sharp at the trade deadline this past season and now have circled back, according to Mike Scotto. And then here, the Grizzlies also have been fans of Nets forward Dorian Finney-Smith since he was acquired by Brooklyn and previously made attempts to trade for him, and they are circling back. So, Memphis Grizzlies, man, when I first heard this news, I was definitely not surprised about the Memphis wanting Dorian Finney-Smith because they have wanted a wing for a long time. The center thing, I think the reason why they want Day'Ron is I think they lost Steven Adams, right? So I'm pretty sure they definitely want a backup big on their team. But what do you think, Rage, when you first heard this news? What do you think the reason why they wanted Day'Ron, or they're interested in getting Day'Ron?
So it definitely makes sense because they're definitely out of a center right now.
Yeah,
They don't have Steven Adams anymore. He's on Houston.
yeah,
So they're kind of without a center. And Day'Ron Sharpe definitely makes sense. He was, our first round pick.
yeah,
And he's definitely shown flashes of being able to be a capable big in this league.
yeah.
And the Grizzlies need somebody to be able to, help fill that void at center.
Mm,
And even transitioning on to Dorian Finney-Smith, he definitely makes sense for them because if Ja Morant's healthy and they have a fully healthy team, that
yeah,
team could definitely be very solid if they add on Dorian Finney-Smith, and Day'Ron Sharpe could be a first round pick caliber type of player.
yeah, yeah. And when I first heard this news, that's why I said I was like, I wasn't surprised, but I looked on Twitter and shout out to Nick Fay from Brooklyn Buzz. So you're probably asking yourselves, what trade packages could we do to get into? Oh well, till we offer Memphis Grizzlies, and this is the trade package. Shout out to Nick Fay. This is just a mock trade. So we'll assume that the Nets give up Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe, 2027 first Philly, 2028 second round from Memphis, and a 2029 second round. And then Memphis gives us Luke Kennard, Zaire Williams, and the number 9th pick in the NBA draft in 2024. So this mock trade, I saw it got a lot of flack on Twitter because I said we were giving up too much, but I do understand the landscape of it because it is still the number 9 pick, which is very valuable. Would I want GG in return? Yes, I would love GG, but I think Memphis is probably trying to hold on to GG with all their might. But I definitely could see this happening. I probably would take away us. What do you think about this trade, bro? Do you think it's too much the Nets are giving?
I honestly like this trade.
Yeah,
I think if we were able to get, Cody Williams at number 9, we were
yeah,
we were talking about him. That could be a pretty good trade for us. You're giving up Day'Ron Sharpe, that's essentially a guy, you're not really too upset about giving up, and Dorian Finney-Smith as well, because he's just kind of been on the market. That
yeah,
2027 first, you just kind of have to give up because you're gonna get a guy, at number 9, along with adding, two other guys, although, they're just kind of guys to add on to the trade. They're still
yeah,
guys nonetheless. And then you got to add second round picks. I feel like this is an overall good trade because I'm pretty high on Cody Williams, and
yeah.
if we were able to go that rebuild route, I'd be, really high on that. But it'd just be interesting if we would go to the stay put route. I think a guy like Cody Williams and Mikal Bridges would be very interesting if the coaching was right.
Yeah.
Next to, just everybody we have on the squad, but you just
Yeah.
never know. But
Let's
I like that trade for us.
let's take a deeper dive into Cody Williams at because that number 9, Cody Williams was mocked. I looked on Hoops Hype. He's definitely mocked at 7 through 10. I think it was 7 through 10 at least that
And
he's
then
gonna be
Tankathon had him at 12 to OKC.
yeah, Tinkathon had him at 12 to OKC. So
So 7 through 12, it's been
this
a
is
it's
gonna
been a range.
be this is gonna be an unpredictable draft because there's gonna be so many teams trading picks. Guys are gonna not go where they're mocked. But Cody Williams, man, you got Cody Williams stats. Cody Williams is a really great 3-and-D wing from Colorado. He just had an amazing year. Shout out to Colorado because I remember watching them through this season, and they were not supposed to go this far in the NCAA tournament, but they went pretty far in the tournament. And that was a big key was Cody Williams this year. But what was Cody? Do you have Cody's stats pulled up, bro?
So as a freshman, he averaged 12 points per game.
Mhm,
He had 3 rebounds per game, 1.6 assists,
mhm,
0.7 blocks, 1.6 steals, but shot 41.5% from three. So
mm,
very well, and shot 55.2% from the field. So he was very well there and is fairly athletic and plays
yeah,
defense very well. And, that's just somebody, that the Nets could really use, especially if, even if we were to keep Mikal Bridges, just a 3 and D type of guy like that would be nice to have just to add on because that's a guy that could replace a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith
yeah,
who didn't really have a place on our roster towards the end of the year. Well, like he did. He had a place in terms of like, playing like in the bench. He had a good bench role, of
yeah,
course, but that was it really. It wasn't anything like in the starting lineup to where he was like really a key piece to where you're not going to want to get a guy like Cody Williams. Like I don't think you should keep Dorian and not get Cody Williams because, if Dorian's not really playing for us and Cody Williams can be a ninth overall pick and have high upside while being a 19-year-old,
yeah,
that's the type of guy you want to have. You
yeah.
know,
Cause
rebuild or not, even if you're trying
yeah,
to win now, a guy like that can be good.
yeah. Because you think about the upside, I think that's the biggest key. Like the upside of Cody is just insane. He's 6'8", 3 and D wing. He just gotta add a little bit more weight on him, but that's gonna come again. He's 19. And Dorian, like I said, if you're gonna trade Dorian, you might as well get a high upside number 9 pick. And Cody, I think, will be great addition to this team going forward because if you're going to be a stay put team, you're going to, and you let's say you do stay put and you want to get a star in 2025, at least you have some youth on your team with CT, Clax, and Cody. That could be a propellant for the Nets in the 2025 era. So you can just surround the stars with good youth talent because most of these teams that are in the finals that we see, Celtics, um, Mavs, they have young guys. They still have a good stars, but they have young guys surrounding them that are very talented too. So I think adding Cody would be great. Now, let's say that trade is a mock trade and that trade doesn't happen, right? Let's say if the Memphis is like, no, 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 we're not giving you number 9. Um, what do you do now, bro? Like, do you still trade? Do you find a pick for Day'Ron, or well, let's talk about Day'Ron real quick because Day'Ron, a lot of Nets fans kind of are like, "Oh, why are the Nets trading Day'Ron, or why are the Nets doing this?" Day'Ron is going to be a restricted free agent next year, and the Nets have a choice, right? Because Cam Thomas and Day'Ron are going to be restricted free agents both at the same time. Now, if we extend Cam Thomas this year, it's going to really hurt our salary cap for 2025, right? So it would it would probably be better for the Nets if we wait to extend Cam Thomas in 2025 after this year. That's where we can wait till he's restricted, then we can give him we can go over the cap and give him his money. Now, it doesn't make sense if you're gonna sign Clax and you're gonna sign Cam, you're not gonna add another extension for Day'Ron. And I love Day, right? We all love Day. He can rebound. His per 36 minutes. He's a great rebounder. Maybe he doesn't have certain tools on the defensive end. He can't really switch, but he can rebound, right? So it's
And he's
might
still
as well
young.
just trade. Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, no, he was just still young. That was just what I was
Yeah,
adding.
I was gonna say, yeah, you might as well just trade Day'Ron now while he has value and teams are interested in him, instead of waiting, and then it just it just makes sense to get value for him now. So that's why I think Nets fans are kind of confused, like, why are we trading him? I think because you could find a backup big, and we're gonna name some backup bigs you can find in this draft. There's backup bigs that are talented in this draft that you can find later in the draft. But it's like if you're gonna replace the Day'Ron thing now, you might as well go for it now. Get your 22nd, get your pick in the 20s, and then you restock. You have a backup big behind Claxton. So you have a backup big behind Claxton for cheap. You're not gonna have to pay him a ton of money because he's gonna be a pick in the 20s. But the first pick that we wanted, if this is for Day'Ron replacement, is Khalil Ware, man. Talk about Khalil Ware real quick, Rage, because when I saw his highlights, bro, Khalil Ware is just so unique. 7 foot. He's so versatile offensively. 3 point, he can shoot the three. He has a great post. But talk about Khalil Ware real quick, bro.
Yeah, no, Khalil Ware is really a monster, like offensively. Like he has a really solid post game. he was like 72% in the paint.
Yeah.
And he had a 3-point shot on top of that. Like he was able to shoot it at a very solid clip of like 42%.
Yeah.
Like he shot like he had 16 points per game,
Yeah.
10 rebounds per game, and can kind of and can catch the ball a little bit too.
Yeah.
1.5 assists. Like that's not too bad, but it's there. That's still in college.
He's a very
Shooting
unique
50
prospect, bro.
58.6% from the field, for
So,
almost, rounding up 43% from the 3-point line, and
ooh.
still shoot 63% from the free throw line. That
Mhm.
can get better, but that's still not even like horrible.
Yeah.
We have Nick Claxton, obviously, we like Clax, but that free
Khalil
throw
Ware
game
and
could use
Clax
some work.
combo. Khalil Ware and Clax combo would be lovely. That would be lovely. That'll be two different aspects of like you got your switch center and then you got your offensive versatile center that's 7 foot. Now next friend are probably asking you, Rage, how could we get Khalil Ware? What is Khalil Ware mocked at in this draft, bro?
So Khalil Ware's actually mocked at 23, and he's projected to go to the Bucks.
Mhm.
So we were looking at and there was another article on Yahoo that also had Khalil Ware going to 23.
Yeah,
And so it was to 23, but Milwaukee picks 23, right?
yeah,
And realistically, Khalil Ware could fall. And we were looking at, okay, so who's 24, 25, 26, just kind of picks that are just kind of in the realm.
yeah,
So the Knicks actually pick at 24 and 25, although
yeah,
Day'Ron could make sense for them if they lose Isaiah Hartenstein.
yeah.
Do we want to trade with the Knicks?
Most likely
Mm,
not. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But then there's the Wizards at 26, and
Okay.
they make sense because they don't really have a backup center like that. Like
Yeah.
they have Marvin Bagley and they have forwards, but they don't have any backup bigs. And they
Yeah.
could use a guy like Day'Ron Sharpe because they're still a rebuilding team and they could just use any type of help they could get.
Yeah.
But realistically, if we could still realistically trade to 23, and we were talking about it earlier, if we wanted to trade up to 23 where he's mocked at,
Mm,
we could trade with the Bucks and give them Dorian because that
yeah.
makes sense for a team that's contending. And we know Dorian is still a 3-and-D wing that can help any contender, especially
Oh
a
yeah.
team that's, like the Bucks, that's really close to a championship fully healthy.
Yeah, the Bucks would love Dorian. That would be an easy, easy 23. I think we got to ask ourselves how much worth is Day'Ron? Like, how much do you think Day'Ron is worth in this league? Could he get you a first? Maybe he can get you a late first. I think from what I've seen online, I think teams value Day'Ron, and you can see Memphis is interested in him, and I think there might be more than one team interested in Day'Ron. So it really depends on like what Day'Ron's worth is. But I think that's a great idea of Dorian getting to the Bucks for that 23, and then you get your Khalil Ware. Once you get Khalil Ware, then you continue to shop Day'Ron around during the draft. I think that's how it works from there. Like you get your 23rd, draft Khalil, then you shop Day'Ron, see if you can get a second or a first, late first for Day'Ron. I think that's how in the whole grand scheme of things would work. Now, the second option for the Day'Ron replacement, and these replacements could either be Day'Ron replacements or Clax insurance, by the way, because it could be either way. If you do draft Khalil Ware and get rid of Day'Ron, and this is going to prepare you just in case Clax leaves too. So if Clax ends up leaving, God forbid, you have Clowney and Khalil Ware to make up the pieces. You know what I'm saying? Because free agency starts literally right after the draft. So it's like it could work both ways in your favor. You get your Day'Ron replacement, get Clax resigns, or if Clax happens to leave, you still have Clowney and Khalil Ware. At least you got some type of centers on the court in your roster. So the next center we have is Day'Ron Holmes, man. Day'Ron Holmes. What is Day'Ron Holmes mocked at? Um, I think he's from Ohio, right? Day'Ron Holmes, Ohio, or Dayton?
Yeah, he's from Dayton. Yeah, he
Dayton.
went to Dayton,
Yeah.
and he's projected to go at 28 on Takeathon, but realistically, there's been a lot of different, speculations. He can kind of go from anywhere, but that's just a guy in the 20s that you can look at.
Yeah.
He's pretty interesting himself. He is pretty like he has a lot of skills.
Yeah.
Averaged 20.4 points per game, 8.5 rebounds. Shot at a 54.4% clip. 38.6% from three, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
71% from the free throw line, and it's solid. It just wasn't at a very high rate, and he was just in like a lower tier conference. but, he can play defense. He averaged 2.1 blocks per game. He's almost like a Nick Claxton,
Similar,
we
very
looking
similar.
back at him, but he can just shoot, and that's the difference.
Mhm.
If Clax had a jump shot, it would be it would almost be kind of meaningless to just have 2 Nick Claxtons, but hey, honestly, maybe 2 Nick Claxtons on the team would be ridiculous. So you
2 Nick
never know,
Claxtons
you
are
never
crazy.
know, but
Yeah,
Day'Ron Holmes is just another guy that's on the board.
yeah,
The only concern, obviously, is how his game will translate, obviously, to the pros and him actually having to deal with NBA bodies because, a lot of his moves to the rim are just kinda going to the rim. Nothing
yeah,
really too crazy, but he still has a lot of skills and can get to the free throw line too.
yeah.
So that's just another guy that's, that'll
I'm
probably be in the
I'm
realm of
I'm
early
definitely
pick.
leaning more towards Khalil, but like I said, it's I'm still like waiting for the shakeup. Like if Claxton got a that Claxton's a big domino because if Claxton resigns, then I want Khalil. If Claxton leaves, then probably Deron makes sense more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
the dominoes fall. But either way, you got to get at least one because you got to prepare yourself just in case for any situation. And of course, if you're getting rid of Day'Ron, you're gonna want a Day'Ron. You're gonna want to back up big because this free agency is terrible. The free agency centers are garbage. So it's like you might as well just get an upside um, guy in the first round to replace Day'Ron and with talent. You know what I'm saying? So in grand scheme of things, we're gonna find out what's gonna happen in this draft, bro, because they teams are interested in Day'Ron and Dorian. We got the news that Grizzlies are interested. So even if things don't shake up and we don't get that number 9 pick from the Grizzlies, you still have to do your due diligence as Sean Marks and find another center or find a backup big in this draft. What do you have any last words, man? Because um, I'm really excited to see what Sean does, but I'm really scared at the same time.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing like what can happen because there's just a lot of
Mhm.
possibilities that can happen. Although, yes, we know like what Sean Marks does, and obviously we've been leaning more towards the stay put route, so it makes sense why he wouldn't do anything just because, you know, but the possibility of us trading into the draft is very real because we know that we've been drafting like late in the first round quite often. We did it with Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharpe, and then we just did it with Dariq Whitehead and Noah
Yeah,
Clowney. So, it's just been kind of an ongoing theme. So maybe we do it for another year, but at the end of the day, we can go about this a lot of different ways, and it's just a matter of hope at this point. Obviously, a lot of these things are just hypotheticals, but
yeah,
all we can do is hope. And there's a lot of different, ways we can go about it, and there are good ways. There are
yeah.
good ways, but it is Sean Marks at the end of the day, and all we can do is just hope for the
Pray
best.
and hope. Pray and hope. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. We'll be back. We'll see. The draft is getting spicy. There's more news breaking, and we'll keep you guys updated. Thank you guys so much. It's Nets Kingdom.